Picture the scene. Liverpool supporters from Singapore to Sao Paulo, from Lagos to Los Angeles, glued to their phones, hearts pounding as rumors swirl about a seismic transfer. Social media explodes, headlines blare. Liverpool are on the brink of shattering their transfer record. The name on everyone's lips? Florian Wirtz, the German prodigy who has set the Bundesliga alight. Reports claim the deal could be worth well upwards of £116 million, potentially rising to £120 million with bonuses, a sum that would eclipse every previous signing in Liverpool's illustrious history. The excitement is palpable. Fans are already imagining Wirtz donning the iconic red, orchestrating attacks under the floodlights at Anfield. But then, in a dramatic turn worthy of a Hollywood script, the deal collapses, leaving the footballing world in a state of disbelief. What just happened? How did the most anticipated transfer of the summer evaporate overnight? To grasp the full significance of this stunning reversal, we need to rewind the clock and step into the world of Florian Wirtz. At just 21 years old, Wirtz has become a sensation, a rare talent whose blend of vision, technique, and composure has propelled Bayer Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title. Last season, Wirtz was the creative heartbeat of Xabi Alonso's side, contributing double figures in both goals and assists across all competitions. His performances drew inevitable comparisons to legends like Michael Ballack and Mesut Ozil, and prompted a scramble among Europe's elite. Bayern Munich, perennial giants of German football, and Manchester City, reigning Premier League champions, both made overtures. But it was Liverpool, fresh off their own domestic triumph, who pushed hardest, convinced that Wirtz was the missing piece to elevate them from champions to dynasties. Liverpool's pursuit of Wirtz was no ordinary transfer saga. It embodied a new era of hyper-competitive recruitment, where the margins between the best clubs are razor-thin and the allure of young generational talent can dictate the balance of power for years. Behind the scenes, Liverpool's recruitment team, led by sporting director Michael Edwards and manager Arne Slot, worked around the clock. Negotiations with Leverkusen were intense, stretching late into the night as intermediaries and club officials debated every clause. The numbers being discussed were staggering. A transfer fee in excess of £116 million, an initial salary package of roughly £200,000 per week, more than doubling Wirtz's compensation in Germany. The deal would have made him not only Liverpool's most expensive signing ever, but also one of the highest-paid players in the club's modern era. For Liverpool fans, the prospect was electrifying. Social media channels buzzed with speculative lineups and excited debates. Could Wirtz form a devastating partnership with Darwin Núñez and Mohamed Salah? Would his arrival signal a new tactical era under Arne Slot, one defined by high-tempo, attacking football and technical brilliance? Bookmakers slashed odds on Liverpool to retain the Premier League, and even rival supporters grudgingly acknowledged that this was a statement of intent. But then came the bombshell. On the afternoon of June 19, 2025, Bayer Leverkusen's sporting director Simon Rolfs stepped in front of the media and delivered a message that stunned the footballing world. Florian is an integral part of our team. We are not considering selling him this summer. In that moment, weeks of feverish speculation came to a sudden halt. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, who had been closely tracking developments, confirmed. Liverpool explored the possibility of signing Wirtz, but Leverkusen always had a very high valuation. The deal is now off. Now, for Liverpool, the collapse was more than a missed opportunity. It was a destabilizing blow. The club had invested significant time and emotional capital into the pursuit, identifying Wirtz as their top priority for the window. Without him, they were forced to pivot rapidly, scrambling to identify alternatives who could match his unique blend of youth, versatility, and star power. Names like Federico Chiesa of Juventus and Alexander Isak of Newcastle United surfaced in the rumor mill, but neither carried the same sense of inevitability or game-changing potential as Wirtz. Liverpool's recruitment team, known for their diligent planning, now faced a ticking clock and heightened pressure to deliver. To understand the gravity of this moment, consider the wider context. Over the past decade, Liverpool have redefined themselves through shrewd recruitment, data-driven scouting, and a philosophy that blends world-class talent with homegrown stars. The likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, a product of the club's Kirkby Academy, and Mohamed Salah, signed for a relatively modest fee, have become global icons. The collapse of the Wirtz deal, while disappointing, is also a reminder of the importance of adaptability and resilience in the face of changing market dynamics. But what does this saga mean for the broader football ecosystem? For one, it highlights the shifting power dynamics between leagues. The Premier League, long regarded as the financial juggernaut of European football, is facing increasing resistance from clubs in Germany, Spain, and Italy, who now see the value in retaining their stars and building competitive projects domestically. Leverkusen's refusal to sell Wirtz, even for a sum that could fund an entire squad overhaul, is a testament to this new mindset. From a financial perspective, the numbers involved are eye-watering. Had the deal gone through at £116 million, Wirtz would have eclipsed Virgil van Dijk as Liverpool's most expensive signing by a margin of over £30 million. His weekly wage, reportedly in the region of £200,000, would have placed him among the club's highest earners, alongside the likes of Salah and Alisson Becker. For context, Liverpool's total wage bill last season was estimated at just over £300 million. Adding Wirtz would have pushed that figure even higher, with potential implications for the club's compliance with financial fair play regulations. But money alone is no longer enough. As expert Raphael Honigstein observed, Leverkusen's stance on Wirtz is firm. They want to build around him, and a transfer this summer was never likely. Clubs are now investing not just in players, but in culture, continuity, and long-term vision. The days when a single phone call and a blank check could secure the world's best talent are fading. Instead, relationships, loyalty, and strategic planning are coming to the fore. This reality is particularly acute for Liverpool's ownership group, Fenway Sports Group. Since taking charge, FSG have been lauded for their sustainable approach, blending prudent investment with a commitment to winning on the pitch. The Wirtz saga, however, presents a fresh challenge. With a transfer budget initially earmarked for a marquee signing now unspent, the club faces a dilemma. Reinvest those funds in multiple targets, or hold out for another superstar in future windows? Let's consider the alternative paths now available. One scenario sees Liverpool intensifying their pursuit of players like Federico Chiesa, a dynamic wide forward with experience at the highest level. Chiesa's ability to cut inside, beat defenders, and create chances would bring a different dimension to Liverpool's attack. Another option is Alexander Isak, whose physicality and finishing prowess have made him a standout in the Premier League. Both players, while talented, present their own risks. Chiesa has battled injuries, and Isak's price tag could approach £90 million. Alternatively, Liverpool may embrace a philosophical shift, focusing on emerging talents who align more closely with Arne Slot's tactical blueprint. Reports suggest the club are now scouting creative midfielders in Serie A and League One, searching for the next breakout star before their price skyrockets. This approach mirrors the club's successful recruitment of players like Diogo Jota and Ibrahima Konate, both of whom blossomed after arriving for comparatively modest fees. Crucially, there is also renewed emphasis on Liverpool's own academy. The club's youth setup, based at Kirkby, has produced a steady stream of first-team contributors in recent years, including Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Jarell Quansah. In the wake of the Wirtz collapse, senior figures at Anfield are reportedly evaluating whether to accelerate the development of these homegrown prospects, reducing reliance on big-money imports. The ripple effects extend beyond Liverpool. Across the Bundesliga, Leverkusen's stance has been met with both admiration and frustration. Borussia Dortmund's chief executive, Hans-Joachim Watzke, expressed disappointment that Wirtz would not be staying in the league, suggesting that his presence could have elevated the Bundesliga's profile. Bayern Munich, having also explored a move for Wirtz, have now been forced to recalibrate their own plans, with key players like Leroy Sané and Thomas Müller departing. From a competitive standpoint, Leverkusen's decision to keep Wirtz could have far-reaching implications. Analysts estimate that retaining their talisman could boost the club's Champions League prospects significantly, potentially earning them tens of millions of pounds in prize money and commercial revenue. In fact, internal analytics at Leverkusen predicted that keeping Wirtz could add nearly twice his prospective transfer fee to the club's coffers over the next 2 seasons, through both on-field success and enhanced global branding. For Liverpool, the immediate risk is clear. Missing out on a player of Wirtz's caliber could hamper their ability to compete at the highest level, both domestically and in Europe. The gap between the best teams is shrinking every year. A single world-class signing can make the difference between glory and disappointment. However, history shows that adversity often breeds innovation. As Sky Sports' Melissa Reddy notes, Liverpool have moved on to other targets after Leverkusen made it clear Wirtz was not for sale. The club's renowned flexibility and data-driven approach may yet turn this setback into an opportunity. So, what lessons can fans, business leaders, and aspiring football executives draw from this saga? First and foremost, the age when financial muscle alone could dictate the market is waning. In today's interconnected world, whether in football, technology, or global commerce, success depends on relationships, long-term planning, and agility in the face of uncertainty. The Wirtz saga is a case study in how leverage is shifting. Power increasingly resides with those who can say no and who have a vision that extends beyond the next quarterly report. For Liverpool supporters, the message is clear. Expect the unexpected. The next big signing may not be a household name, but could emerge as a star through inspired scouting and development. The club's ability to pivot, identify undervalued talent, and nurture future legends will be the ultimate test of their ambition and resilience in this new era. Remember, few outside Merseyside had heard of Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah before they arrived. Within a few seasons, they were Champions League heroes. For anyone watching from the outside, this story is about more than football. The world's biggest deals, whether for star athletes or breakthrough technologies, are increasingly shaped by patience, negotiation, and the courage to walk away when terms are unfavorable. The clubs and companies that thrive will be those that invest in people, culture, and sustainable growth, rather than chasing headlines at any cost. As for Liverpool's next move, all eyes are on Arne Slot and his recruitment team. Will they double down on their pursuit of Chiesa or Isak, or look to unearth the next Florian Wirtz from within their own ranks? Insiders suggest the club is also targeting reinforcements in central defense and at left back, recognizing the need for depth across the squad. Fenway Sports Group has reportedly authorized a transfer budget comparable to what was set aside for Wirtz, indicating that Liverpool remain ambitious, even if the target has changed. The broader trend is unmistakable. As the global transfer market becomes more complex, clubs must be smarter, faster, and more adaptable than ever. The failed Wirtz deal is not the end for Liverpool. It is the beginning of a fascinating new chapter, one in which the ability to innovate, to spot value where others see risk, and to build cohesive teams will separate the contenders from the also-rans. And here's a little-known fact. Leverkusen's internal metrics suggested that keeping Wirtz would not only boost their Champions League hopes, but also enhance their global profile, attracting sponsors and fans from new markets. Sometimes the best investment is not to sell, but to believe in your own vision. In the end, Liverpool's pursuit of Florian Wirtz may have ended in disappointment, but the lessons learned will resonate far beyond this summer. The transfer saga has exposed the evolving dynamics of modern football, where success is measured not just in trophies, but in the ability to adapt, innovate, and stay true to your core values. So, if you found this transfer roller coaster as gripping as we did, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let us know in the comments. Which player should Liverpool target next in this unpredictable market? And remember, the beautiful game is always evolving, and the next great story is only one transfer away. Stay tuned for more exclusive